why copywriting is one of the highest paid side hustles in 2023. Hey you, I'm Sarah Turner. I am a freelance copywriter and copywriting mentor, and copywriting is hands down always going to make the top lists of the best side hustles. So it's no surprise that it's going to make it in 2023. And here's why. Any business that sells a product or a service, which is nearly all of them, is going to need copywriting. Copywriting is sales writing or persuasive writing, also considered marketing writing. There's a lot of different ways to explain what copywriting is, but ultimately it is writing in a way that gets somebody to take action, oftentimes to make a purchase. And the wonderful thing about living in the time that we live in is you get the opportunity to write for brands and businesses that you believe in, the ones that you love to talk about, the ones that you're already sharing with your friends and family. So every industry needs it, every business needs it, which means there are going to be perfect fits for you. Whatever your interests are, whatever your passions are, there is going to be somebody who would love to have you be their copywriter. And the pandemic even accelerated this process. More businesses had to move online to survive and thrive the changing times. So it was already happening because of technology, but it's now even more true. And because of that, specialists or copywriters who, pick a particular niche or an industry to write about are also in greater demand. We used to have a lot more generalist copywriters, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people have made it succeed, but I'm a big fan of picking a niche because it's going to help you see success a lot more quickly. And as this industry has grown, as digital marketing has grown, we have seen an increasing demand for people to really specify or work in a particular area because people love working with specialists. Think about it. If you had a heart problem, you're not going to go to a general practitioner. You're going to go to a cardiologist. You want to go to the person who knows the most about that industry. And that continues to be the case. And another thing I really love about copywriting is that it's something that can start as a side hustle and then really truly grow into something that you decide you want to make a full leap on. In fact, Upwork recently released that 60% of freelancers who leave their jobs to pursue freelancing of some kind end up making more money than they could in their 9-to-5. And that makes sense because when you are in control, when you bet on yourself and you start to build a business according to your growth, not according to some manager who gives you a 3% raise each year, you are going to be able to see those earnings, that success pass directly onto you because you're kind of cutting out the middleman. So we are entering a time where more and more people need side hustles because the cost of living has grown and because the traditional 9-to-5 can't keep up. I have really come to see and believe that the life that you want is probably outside the 9-to-5 life. So whether it's copywriting or some other skill, it is worth looking into starting a side hustle that could eventually become a full-fledged career in 2023. Okay, back to copywriting, because I want to tell you a few more benefits as to why it is such a fantastic side hustle. First things first, you do not need to be a pro right when you start. There are going to be businesses who cannot afford the pros. I think sometimes, more seasoned copywriters kind of forget this. It's like they forget that they were once a newbie and they can get real salty. Don't really understand it, but I remember what it was like to be a newbie and how scary it is. But the thing is so many different businesses are at different phases of growth, meaning maybe they're a new business, maybe they're just starting out, maybe they just got a marketing budget. Whatever the case is, there's going to be a business that needs your copywriting skill set all the way up the copywriting ladder. Only some businesses are going to be able to afford pros. So what that means is you can earn as you learn. You can start writing, you can tip your toes in, you can write for a particular industry, you can change your niche. Truly, 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 the journey is up to you and you can figure it out as you go, because ultimately, if you are spending time dedicated to improving your craft and to improving your client acquisition, you're going to see real results. And as you grow as a copywriter, you will be able to take on bigger clients with more sophisticated marketing. And that is just the natural transition that is happening in the world of freelance copywriting today. So even beginners can make great money. I mean, I started out just by writing some blogs and some website copy before moving into direct response, and I was easily earning $8,000 a month before I even moved into the direct response world. And then when you move into the direct response world, which is where you are writing things like sales pages and marketing funnels and things like that, you can make so much more because the pieces that you're writing actually have conversion rates, meaning people actually make a purchase when they engage with your copy. So the results are easier to see. In fact, I have this exercise I love to send people where I walk them through how to write product descriptions. Product descriptions can be some of the lower paid pieces of copy. For example, maybe you're only going to earn $50. You can also earn a lot for product descriptions, but I'm just talking about being a newbie here. And if you were going to write 4 product descriptions and charge $50 a piece, it's $200. And then the thing that I love for people to see is I have them fill out that exercise, walking them through how to write a product description, and then I ask them, how long did it take you to do that? More often than not, they say it took them an hour. So that means an hour's worth of work translates into about $200. Now, there's obviously other things that go into it. You need to get good at client acquisition, things like that. But it's just so wild that when you are not tied to time, i.e. trading your hours for an hourly wage, you actually start to reap the rewards of your earnings as you get faster and better. All of that is passed on to you and your client because ultimately they're going to get better results as well. It takes a little bit of a mindset shift, especially if you've come from a traditional 9-to-5. It's what I like to call the employee to business owner mindset shift. But it is so worth looking at it because once you realize that you freed yourself from time, there is just so much opportunity in this world. The other reason copywriting is a fantastic side hustle is because the overhead is insanely low. I mean, generally, you need your laptop, you need Wi-Fi, and you probably need an invoicing software. Maybe you're going to pay for an LLC and a website. Ultimately, you're usually going to spend less than $500 to get your business up and running, and quite frankly, it'll probably be less than that. So you don't need a ton of startup capital. You don't need thousands and thousands of dollars to invest in buying products and shipping them out and all that stuff and building an infrastructure and then just to wait and see, does it work? No, it's a skill set that you can develop and grow and build on and get better and better, and then the rewards are passed to you. It's such an incredible opportunity for people who just want to get their feet wet in entrepreneurship, quite frankly. I often call it the gateway drug to entrepreneurship because it's something that shows you how to, quite frankly, build a business. Once you know copywriting and marketing strategy, you can take all that information and build a personal brand, build a business. I've had so many students who have come through my program, Write Your Way to Freedom, which is about freelance copywriting, and then taken that information and gone off to build entire businesses with it. So it's a really great starting point. But maybe you just decide you want to be a copywriter. Maybe you keep it as a side hustle. Truly, the sky's the limit. The other thing that's really wonderful about copywriting is there are so many different ways to find clients and to strengthen your client acquisition skill set. For example, you don't have to wait for people to come find you. You can reach out, start pitching, send cold emails, reach out on LinkedIn, build a name for yourself on LinkedIn, make a name for yourself in a Facebook group, reach out in DMs. And eventually, it really is a numbers game. You will eventually start to bring on clients. And that is one of my favorite things. It's easy to forget that people like me who have been doing this for 10 years, when I want to drum up new work or have a new client, I do the exact same thing that a newbie does. I start reaching out. Obviously, I have the experience and that gives me a little bit of a leg up, but it's really no different than somebody who is just starting out. The other thing that's really surprising for so many of my students is that you can build a name for yourself in your niche super quickly. Usually within a year, people are going to know who you are, what you write for, and the people within your niche are going to start recommending you. So it really doesn't take that long to build momentum, which is great because you don't want to be constantly doing outreach, which is what you're going to have to do in the beginning, but eventually it's going to taper off and you'll have people coming to you as long as you're getting better and improving in your skill set. Another reason that I love copywriting is that it is really hard to get bored. There is so many different types of copy, different ways that you can implement it, and you can figure out what you prefer. Maybe you like writing email sequences. Maybe you like actually digging into the strategy behind it and doing all the stuff on the back end. Maybe that freaks you out and you just want to write a blog. Maybe you love writing sales pages and only working 4 days a month. Maybe you like writing white papers because you love the technical aspect of it. There is so many different areas within copywriting itself that really appeals to so many different types of people. And so as you get familiar with the different types of copy, you might find that you love writing video sales letters, right? You love writing scripts, you love writing Facebook ads, whatever that is, and it's going to keep your attention. And here's the other thing. Eventually, that might get a little boring to you and you want to shift gears and try something else, and you'll have so many other things that you can work with. And that was really important for me because I'm the kind of person who, quite frankly, if I'm doing the same thing day in and day out and I'm not challenged and I'm not learning, I get bored. I just get so freaking bored. And that's one of the things I love about copywriting and why it has captured my interest for 10 years. The other thing that's really amazing about copywriting, quite frankly, is that it can be super lucrative. There are pieces of copy, like I mentioned earlier before, where maybe you make $50, $200, but then there is direct response copywriting where you can be earning thousands of dollars when you write a sales letter. You know, if I write a sales letter, it's usually between $4,000 to $5,000 a pop, and it can be so lucrative, right? Because it's based in value, not in time. And so my client's not wondering, how many hours did it take you to write the sales page? That's not the question they're asking. They're asking, does this sales page get the results I want? i.e. bringing in new customers and new clients. And then my other favorite thing about copywriting is the community. I have made some of my closest, dearest friends in communities of copywriters, most specifically in the Write Your Way to Freedom community, but there are also other lovely communities in the online space. If you're like me, you're one of the first people in your family to become an entrepreneur. Actually, I might be the only entrepreneur in my family now that I think about it. And that can be really scary, right? The people in your life don't get what you're trying to do. And so it's so wonderful to surround yourself with people who get it, who are supporting you, who want you to win, who are excited for the challenges and the successes that you're experiencing. And quite frankly, that was one of the mistakes I made early on as a copywriter. I didn't link up with a community. And so I really want to encourage you, if you choose this as a side hustle even, find your copywriter friends because they're out there and they're pretty awesome. So anyway, I hope this helps. If it does, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I love hearing from you guys in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.